Hello friends, my name is Umesh Arya. I'm a teacher in the Department of Mass Communication, Guru Jambheshwar University of Science and Technology, Hisar. Today our topic is data journalism. See, what is journalism actually? We normally define journalism as investigating, confirming, setting into context, ordering, shaping, writing, interpreting, and publishing any kind of news. That's the broad definition of journalism, right? So what we have done is now that we have added data word before journalism. So essentially both the things are the same, and there is a improved definition here now, and that is data journalism is defined as use of data, statistics, and other quantitative information. We can use that data for news reporting and storytelling, right? Another definition of data journalism, it is journalism practice that employs data sets, computational tools, algorithms, softwares, free archives, and all that to compose new stories. So essentially we are talking about the journalism with the support of data here. Now the question comes, what actually is the data, right? So data is actually a plural word. A singular word is datum, right? DATUM. But in the general language, in the normal conversation, we use data in a singular form, right? So data can be viewed as a description of things. It can take many shapes. It can be like documents, email, photos, videos, historical records, handwritten notes, phone records, bank statistics, sensor data, etc. So many things. Any type of data that is extremely precious in its own way, right? So the people who are generating data, they essentially don't delete the data, and that is there for the future reference because it is very precious, right? Can you tell me what do you see in this picture? Just apply some mind on this and have some on interpretations. It is basically the murals we can find on at various places across India, in caves, in forts, and in museums. So they're describing something, some war is going on, right? And some celebration kind of thing is also going on, you can say, right? There are horses, there are weapons also, and there are people, right? So it's more of a war like situation. So what we mean to say is that we are storytelling. So in data journalism, we are telling the story with the help of the data. So this data is very important. Earlier we used to have these murals or wall writings. Now we have the data spread across internet. So let's discuss more about it. Displayed this picture. So it is related to very less information that we used to have in earlier times, but right now, so we are having information plenty. Earlier it was information paucity. Now we are living in the age of information plenty. So can you just believe that what amount of data is being created by us? That is mind boggling. As you can see, 328.77 million terabytes. I just even count that. So you put so many zeros and that data is in the GB. And the data created includes the data which is newly generated, captured, copied, consumed, and used daily worldwide. It's astounding, right? So we are living in that kind of information overload. So obviously we have a lot of data and we can do journalism with that, right? Let's see what is the data explosion like today. We are having 8.5 billion searches on Google every day, right? 50 crore people, they are using, Instagram for their stories every day. 7,600 tweets per second, right? 1 billion hours of video every day is watched on the YouTube. 100 billion messages they are sent through WhatsApp every day. And it is all, ever increasing data. It is increasing day by day. 1.91 billion people use Facebook daily in 2022. So that's data is for present. It will be growing. It is ever growing, and it has a lot of opportunities for us as far as journalism is concerned. So let's see what is the breakup of this data. Videos, social media, gaming, and browsing, they consume the maximum amount of data. So obviously the data journalism opportunity is lying inside these categories. If we can scrape this data, if we can download this data and we can analyze this data and write some story on based on this data, right? So that will be a very good data journalism exercise. So we have a lot of information. It's almost a glut of information. So what? Do we have the competencies there and the tools that are required to scrape, clean, verify, and visualize data for storytelling, because plenty of data is one thing, but making sense of the data by various skills is another thing, right? So essentially we are talking about making sense of the data here. Okay, let's do one exercise. We will make some sense of the data. Okay, as you can see on the screen, we have a Dickey model here, which says that data is the information which is discrete, meaning thereby the information is spread. There is no coordination between the different information points, right? So the information spread over internet comes in this category, right? But if you come to the information side, right? So information has, it has some characteristics, like these are the data points with the identifiable characteristics, right? So now data is different from information because information is becoming meaningful. Then comes knowledge, right? So in knowledge, you are able to, draw cross connections between the knowledge points, right? So that becomes in knowledge. So as far as insight is concerned, then you are able to identify, or you put your focus on two main important points, right? That okay, these are two important points and I just want to make connection out of that. And finally, in wisdom part of it, you find the quickest possible method to connect these 2 points. So that is wisdom part of it, right? So as you can see, the model is telling you that data, information, knowledge, insight, and wisdom, these are altogether different things. And of course, everything starts with the data, but it ends with the wisdom, right? If you stop one step short of wisdom, that is on insight, so it means the whole the model is not complete, right? So in order to make sense of the data, we have to follow this sequence, that is DIKIW model, right? See the data set in a right way. So I have displayed before you on the screen. It is the crime against women in the year 2018, right? As you can see that this is a table, and there are different states with the registered cases of crime against women in year 2018, right? See this data. So there are some pointers like Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, and Assam. They have the highest number of registered cases against women, right? So if you get this data set, and if you write a story on this, that okay, these are the states with the highest number of crime against women, right? Will that be a good story for you? This you have to see. So I am presenting another angle before you, right? If you can see on the screen, we have the same table but with a different taste. Now I have the table with the projected female population, right, and the rate of total crime against women, meaning thereby it's not that Uttar Pradesh is getting so many cases, maximum cases against the crime against the women, right? It doesn't mean that it is the most crime infested state for women. No, we have to see the crimes in the light of the total population of the women in that state. So if you see the same data again, then the picture is very different now, right? So we can see that Odisha, Telangana, Haryana, Assam, they are the topmost states with the highest number of the crime rate against women. And these states did not figure in the earlier table. What we need to learn is that we should see the data in the right perspective, right? Otherwise, there is a chance that we will spoil the whole story and we will project a different side, a wrong side, nuanced side of the data, right? Which will not be good. So we have to see the data in its sense, proper sense, right? You can see the screen, then the misreading percentage on Scottish referendum by CNN. So 52% people are saying Scotland should not be independent, whereas 58% people, they are saying yes, it should be independent. Now if you see the television, you will not notice this error in the first place, right? But when you apply some mind, then you will see that okay, this 58 should be 48, right? Once you set it correct 48, then it becomes 100%. So earlier people were supporting the Scotland's independence, but once you change the percentage 48%. That is the real percentage. Now 52% are saying that no, it should not be independent, and majority of the people, they do not want the Scotland to be independent, right? Now see, the truth changes before and after the percentage. So that's the point. So this type of error is quite probable, but it has got some implication. It can have serious consequences, right? So what are the data mishandling consequences, right? Because data is very, very important as far as journalism is concerned. So if you mishandle the data, like I just showed, you can be accused of data bias, right? People can accuse that, okay, you are supporting a particular side of the story. You are not independent, you are not impartial, so you can be accused of that. And media houses, reporters, they have credibility is the biggest asset, right? So that is compromise. Again, the next consequence is that it can compromise your work, right? It will render your work questionable, right? People can easily question you. Then audience will lose trust, right? That's the biggest loss actually. And some lawsuits can be filed against you and your organization, right? So the law is on the proactive side these days, because you may be accused of spreading the fake news and misinformation this way, right? So you can easily be tried for this. So these are the data mishandling consequences. We should be mindful of that. What are the data do's and don'ts, right? What to do? Always keep a original file of the data, right? Because that's a master file, and then you can work upon the secondary file. So in case you lose the secondary file, or some error has taken place, then you can always refer back to the master file. Okay, so these do's and don'ts, they are more applicable as far as Excel file is concerned. But yeah, they can be applied across the board also in many cases. In case of multiple tables, categorize them by adding a column, right? If you have many tables, just make a single table, right? And give good headers so that they can explain what is underneath those headers. And make sure that the headers match the respective data, right? It should not be the different header and the different data. Check the sequence of the index. Is it okay? And keep uniform names across multiple files containing a similar data, so that you save most of the energy, right, while not chasing the different files, right? And what not to do, actually, it is Excel specific. Just don't forget to make a aggregate calculation at the end of the column, and keep the duplicate values, right? And just remove the extra headlines. Keep abbreviations, because otherwise your window span will increase horizontally and vertically. And make it a point that whenever you download some Excel file and there are calculations in that, then you make the average sum total, and a few other calculations at the end of the column, right? So these are the normal do's and don'ts. Of course, they can vary with the type of data you have downloaded, right? Let's see some of the very good data journalism stories, right? A few of the stories, they are really good, which the data journalists, they have produced. So as you can see on the screen, you will be surprised to know that there are fewer women who are singing the Bollywood solos now, right? So this is contrary to the popular perception that solo women singers, they are getting more songs, they are becoming more popular. No, it's not like that. So analyze the data since 1950 to 2000, I think 2017 or 2019. It is a story by Hindustan Times, and you can always refer back on Google, and you will see that they have analyzed the songs, top grosser songs, and they have come to the shocking conclusion that, contrary to the perception that women are getting popular, no, women, they are singing fewer songs than 1950, right? So this may be a very good point actually, and it is different from our normally held opinions, right? And you can take a feminist view out of this data. It is possible because there is a heap of data. There's a ton of data available, and only the data journalist can, scan through that data and, come out with the conclusion. So data journalism is such an interesting field, right? And it can analyze the information which is normally not possible with the, with the conventional methods. Then there is one very good TED talk which says that violent deaths, they have reduced, right? This video presentation will tell you that violence in the prehistoric time, that was very, very high, right? As you can see on the chart, that the violence is coming down actually, right? And we are living in the most peaceful time of the human civilization. And again, this is also contrary to the popular belief that our life is very insecure these days. But data tells you that no, we are living in the most peaceful time of the human civilization ever, right? This is a very interesting story, right? So everybody would like to, believe the data, right? And would like to see the fact which is different from the what we have been told. Almost everybody among us, they may be having some negative thoughts that okay, no, societal insecurity is there, financial insecurity, health insecurity, insecurity of the life, just like we just see in the COVID times, that life is very impermanent, it is temporary. But the data tells you that no, we are living in the most safe time, we are living in the most peaceful time, right? So that's the power of data journalism. As you can see on the screen, the data is available for Europe and a few other continents, and it has shown you in the graph that it is coming down actually from year 1300 to 2000. There is a decline, right? Because earlier there used to be so many wars, and people, they used to go in the wars and they did not return, and there were little remedies available for the diseases then. So there were lot many factors. So in a nutshell, the violence has reduced considerably, right? So data tells you that. Now, having said that, let's see what are the various aspects of data journalism, right? So aspects may be like, we need to define what kind of data we should have, right? Most important step. Then we have access. We should have an access to data, right? Then we need to scrape that data. Scraping means to download that data, right? First, we should know that, okay, what is our requirement? What is our definition? How would we define that particular data which we want? Then we should have the access to that data. Then we will download that or scrape that. Then fourth step is we will verify that data. Okay, we will not believe a data from a particular organization unless that is a very, very credible organization. For example, Government of India, World Bank, United Nations data repositories, and if you other credible organizations. So but if you download data from those websites also, then it makes sense to verify the data, because that's a normal protocol. Then we must clean the data, because the data may not be in the format in which it is suitable for you. There may be some noisy elements in the data, and the World Bank data, for example, United Nations data, they run into so many thousands of observation, and they scroll that much on the left side, or on the horizontal side and the vertical side. So we may need to remove a few columns and the rows, right? So in a way, we need to clean the data, and then we will analyze this data, right? The data will not be analyzable unless we satisfy all the earlier conditions, right? And conditions are that we must clean the data, because Excel's calculation functions, cleaning functions, they are very sensitive to the data format. So they need the data in the particular style. And finally, we come to the present side of it, that we will present this data in a form of visualization, in a graph, in the form of the pie chart, or in some other visualization techniques. And we will discuss that in the last part of the presentation, that we have so many good visualization techniques. So here essentially we want to say that this is the data protocol, right from defining the data to presenting the data, right? If you are not able to present the data, then the whole exercise doesn't mean anything, right? So that's why we need to be very, very particular about this. Okay, so what is the data journalism pipeline? This visualization I have adopted from the Wikipedia, and it simplifies the data journalism pipeline. So it says that first comes the data, right? Then filter the data, right? Then visualize, and finally make a story, right? So in the earlier slide, I elaborated the process. This visualization has compress all the earlier points in just 4 points: data, filter, visualize, and story, right? Then what are the components of data journalism, right? So from here onwards, we are actually moving closer to the practical side of data journalism, that how we can scrape the data and how we can analyze the data, and finally how we can produce the data, right, in the form of a story, in the form of the graphics or pie charts, etc., right? So data journalism has 3 components. The first is data scraping, meaning thereby you have a data, okay, you must scrape it, you must download it, and then you must clean the data, and then finally you must visualize that data, right? So we will do this one by one. Let's come to data sources and scraping, right? So we must know what are the data sources so that we can scrape the data. So let's talk about all these sources one by one. We have government databases, which are most credible one, like all of the governments worldwide. They are having the open portals wherein you can go there and you can download the ready-made data sets. They are already cleaned and they offer credible information so that you can always refer back to them, and you can produce a story and you cannot be accused of bias then, because the data is from the credible source, right? So Government of India has open data set at Government of India's portal, that is, I think, india.gov.in. You can go and find data sets and you can download them. Then there are many international organizations like World Bank, IMF, United Nations Organization, so many international organizations. They also have very good international data on various aspects. Then we have very famous NGOs, right? They're very, very respected NGOs funded by international organizations, and like Greenpeace is the one, and so many you will find that their data is quite dependable. They have their own organizations, like we have Association of Democratic Rights in India, which publishes information related to elections. So that's also one of the very good source. Then for academic research, we can always go to Google Scholar and UGC's website, and we have all the publishers' website like Sage, Springer Link, Oxford Open Press, and so many. So that's for the academic research. Then we have corporate data. All the data relating to the corporates is available on Ministry of Commerce website, SEBI website, and Reserve Bank of India's website. Most of the data you will find there. So that's a good data source, and that's a credible also. Then open data, social media platforms, they are the biggest form of data repository as far as people are concerned. So whatever you like, whatever you dislike, whatever content you want, you dislike, and for how many duration you watch that particular video, it's all there, right? So you can download that data, and different posts also, right? On Twitter, Twitter is now X, and Instagram stories, and all that data can be scraped for the analysis. Then we have public surveys and polls. This data is also available online, and you can launch your own public survey also free of cost. Then we have sensor data, right? The data from weather sensing applications, and relating to the climate information, and so many other sensing applications is available. Then we have historical archives. So historical archives of the newspapers. If you go to the Google project, they have historical archive of the newspaper in the ancient times, right? 200 years, 300 years back, right? That's a very good collection. So like this, if you go back to Wayback Machine, right? So it tells you the historical archive of the websites which are present, right? So if, for example, particular kind of Twitter tweet has been deleted, right? Then you can always go back to the particular date and that tweet will be visible there and you can take the screenshot. So that kind of stuff is always available. Then we have proprietary data sets, meaning thereby the data sets which are paid. Many times the freely available data sets, that doesn't carry that much quality sometimes, right? And only the proprietary data sets, they have the quality inside them. And the problem is that these kind of data sets, they are available for a price, right? And they are more credible. So because you can always question the data back to the company, and the data is carefully calculated, moderated and curated. So we have this kind of data set also. So these are all data sources where in you can go and search for the data sets and download them. This list is more than sufficient for you to look for your data. So we have talked about the data sources. Let's go to the scraping part of it. Okay, so we must know Google Power searching commands, that is the advanced search operators. I'm just talking about getting the information from web through Google, and just with the normal search you can't get the right information. You have to apply a few search operators in the advanced search, and you can get the information. We will see one application in the next slide. And then we have browser extensions. So Chrome browser is link clump to extract and download the hyperlinks, and we have to extract the tables from the PDF. For example, election expenses, we have the particular PDF and we have to extract the table. So there is PDF table extractor extension. So these are the two extensions which are required as far as scraping methods are concerned. And in the next slides, we will be talking about the some examples how we can access the data and then how we can analyze the data. Thank you so much.